In the first example in lesson 1, we're given a triangle with two angles missing, x and y. Now we notice these little tick marks, and what they mean is that those two sides have the equal length. If they have an equal length, then the angle across from them would be the same angle. So this here angle is 50 degrees, and since this side is the same as the side over here, that means that x is also 50 degrees. Just because those two sides were the same length. Now we still need to find what the degree of y is. So what we're going to do is use the idea that when we add all the angles in a triangle, it will give us 180 degrees. So I'm going to add 50 from the given angle here, and I'm going to add another 50 degrees from my x value, and we're going to say plus y because we don't know what that is yet, and set that equal to 180. So we'll add our 50 degrees together. 50 plus 50 is 100. Then we just need to subtract 100 from both sides of our equation. So y equals 80 degrees. And we found our missing angles. Our second example in lesson 1, we are again missing x and y. So first I'm going to start by finding x. Because when I combine x with 150, those are supplementary angles, they should equal 180 degrees. So I'll have 150 plus x equal to 180 degrees. I'm going to subtract 150 on both sides. So x will equal 30 degrees. Now I still need to find out what y is, and this here is a triangle. So we know that when I add all three of those angles together, I should get 180 degrees. So I'm going to add my x value, 30 degrees, and the 40 degrees is already given to us, and I have to add the y, and this is going to be equal to 180 degrees. When I first add my 30 and 40 together, I get 70 degrees plus y equals 180. Then I'll subtract 70 from both sides to find out what my y is. So y equals 110 degrees. So I found my missing angles. In the third example in lesson 1, we are looking for angle D. Now since we're given an equilateral triangle, we know that all sides are the same length, which also means that all angles are the same degree. So if a triangle has three angles that are the same, they should all add up to 180. So what we need to do is 3 times our angle equals 180, divide by 3. So all the angles are 60 degrees. And if it's an equilateral triangle, all the angles are going to be 60 degrees. But that tells us what this angle right here is. And when I combine that with angle D, they would make 180 degrees because they're supplementary angles. So I'll have 60 degrees plus D equals 180, and I'll subtract 60 on both sides. So D equals 120 degrees. And we found our missing angle. In the fourth example in lesson 1, we're finding A, B, and C angles. We're going to start by finding angle A, because together with the 60-degree angle, they make a straight angle or line. They should add together to equal 180 degrees. So I'm going to have 60 degrees plus A equals 180 degrees. And I'll subtract 60 on both sides so that A equals 120 degrees. Now, because these lines are parallel, that's what those little arrows mean, and they're being cut by a transversal that is hitting each of these at the same angle, that means that the large angles, A and B, will be equal. So since A equals B, I know that B equals 120 degrees. And the small angles are the 60 degrees, which will equal the C. So C equals 60 degrees. So I found my missing A, B, and C. In example 5 of lesson 1, the arrowheads here indicating that these are parallel lines, and what we're going to do to find x is find out what scale factor I need to multiply 5 by. That same scale factor that would multiply 2 to get 8/3 is what I'll use to multiply by 5 to find out what x is. So I'm going to have 2 times the scale factor. I'm going to use f would equal 8/3. And what I'm going to do is just divide both sides by 2. So f equals, now when I divide by 2, it's the same as multiplying by 1/2, so it would be 8/6, and then if we simplify, that would be 4/3. So I'm going to multiply 4/3 times 5. And that will give me the length of x. So I'm going to have 5 times 4, which is 20, and divide that by 3, and I'm just going to leave it as an improper fraction, equals x. And that is our answer. The length of x is 20/3.